Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode. Actually, is it the season finale? I think it is. The season finale of season 6. My goodness. While we are here, let's tell the people about what's coming up. We have a few weeks of a break. We will be posting some throwback episodes for you guys, but we've got some really fun stuff planned for season 7. I know we always say that, but when I was visiting Emily, we spent a lot of time just like brainstorming like topic ideas and everything. We have some really fun like series that we plan to bring to the people. That's all the hints I'm going to give, but it's going to be great.
Yeah. And in the meantime, while we post the throwback episodes, you can also become a Tud Bud and get that exclusive Beet Deets content and go listen to all of our very funny bonus questions. You can listen to the audio versions and go watch the video versions if you want to first react to it without our faces, and then you want to see our faces to get the full experience. And then, other things you could do during this time while we're a little bit gone is go on our website and submit questions you want to answer.
Ooh, yes, definitely that one, because I have a lot of the season 7 topics up there. Like I said, it's kind of a way to spoil it a little bit. You can kind of see what episodes we have posted for question submissions. But yes, go on there, submit any questions that you have for upcoming episodes that we've already determined. And then if there are any episode ideas that you want to hear about specifically, let us know. We can always consider that too. But today is a story time. We are, again, just going on vibes, no outline, just telling a bit of a story. And as you probably saw on the title, today we're talking about that time that we failed a class. I think we should start by setting the scene. Like, yes, the year, what else was going on?
What other classes we had, what we were doing. So it was sophomore year
of college.
And it was the spring semester, which is the worst.
Yes, the worst
of the 2 semesters, because there are much less breaks and it's just like cold and gloomy, and you only get spring break. And I think we got off MLK Day, but it's not enough to get through the gloominess. And we were also, what other classes? I think we were taking anatomy.
I think you're right.
We were taking,
which had a lab. We were in Orgo, were we? Was it Orgo freshman year?
Orgo was not freshman year.
Or was it first semester?
I think it was first semester. Because I was like, there's no way we took Orgo and Biochem at the same time. That would be
also
awful.
I bet we were like, oh, wow, Orgo was terrible. It can't get worse than that.
Yeah.
Enter January 2017. Things got worse.
And I think we might have both been in the sports nutrition class.
Definitely.
We both were at least working full time. I think you were at ADR, which is the athletic dining room, and I was an RA.
I think I was also a FitCon too, a fitness consultant.
I feel like you probably had at least another job
along with the sports nutrition stuff.
Yes.
And then, you were an RA already.
So that's the scene.
A lot.
There's a lot going on. I can't remember what other classes we took. I know food science was sophomore year.
What were we taking in terms of like nutrition besides food science? I don't think we really got into the good stuff until like junior year. I kind of want to pull up Purdue's.
I want to put up. Hold on. I know how to find this really fast because I looked at it. All right, let's look it up. Hold on. Take a momentary pause. We have to look up our major and its plan.
By the way, if you're brand new here and you don't know Emily and I's like backstory, it's Purdue University. That's where we probably should have started.
West
Lafayette, Indiana.
That's true.
January through like early May, a very cold time, very dark and gloomy.
It's gonna really bother me if I don't know what. Wait, I could just look at my Google Calendar.
Oh my God, of course.
We're going back to 2017, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm almost there.
I'm getting the shivers just looking
at this. Makes me want to throw up.
I know.
Okay. God. I do not like school.
I
Okay,
know.
I got it.
Okay, what were we up to?
So, wow, I did not like early classes. I really changed you could clearly see 7:30s really scarred me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume we had like the same schedule.
Yes, I'm sure we did.
At 11:30 on Monday, we had anatomy recitation.
Ew, I forgot about recitations.
Oh, that's when like it was another lecture essentially. It
TA
wasn't a
would be there.
recitation. And we get lectured at again, and there were eye clicker points.
Is that what recitation means? Like you would re-recite what we learned?
I thought it was new material. That definitely makes sense. It should be that.
I just realized that 10 years, almost 10 years after we graduated.
I had literally no idea what that word meant. I was like, recitation.
But yeah, for us, they were definitely just throwing more information at us to study. That will be on the exam.
Yes. So we went to recitation where we got lectured at. And then we went to biochem lab at 12:30 on Monday.
That
was it.
Should we tell what class we failed? We haven't even like said that yet.
No, hold on. The suspense, we'll give them the full, they can guess.
Okay.
We failed. So we had biochem lab. And then Tuesday morning at 10:30, we had anatomy lab. At 11:30, we had nutrition 3:15.
What was 3:15? Hang on, I have the whole thing pulled up of like what the credits are.
It was a long class. It was like hour and a half, hour 15.
Fundamentals of nutrition. Oh, who taught that?
It was in physics, the physics building.
Oh, I was picturing stone for some reason. It was in physics?
Mm-hmm.
I have blacked, like this is all like repressed. There is like this tiny little file folder in the very back of my brain that is just like covered in dust.
What did we learn from this class?
Who taught that? Does your Google Doc say that? Or your Google
calendar? I had the times, name, and location. That's it.
Okay. So we had biochem, we had anatomy, we had 3:15, whatever that was. What else?
We had biochem lab Tuesday for 3. Well, I think I had a different time than you, but it's different days. 3:30 to 6:20. That was
that class made me so mad.
I hate biochem lab.
I have literally I didn't learn a single damn thing.
No. I know it was 1 credit.
God. Oh my God, that was 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna spoil it by saying it, but I took that twice and I still didn't learn a damn thing.
Same.
I took it 2 times. That's like so many hours of being in biochem lab. And I don't know
doing the exact same thing again.
And one time I got in trouble for like essentially reusing a paper. I'm like, what do you want me to do? It's the exact same class.
I know. I was like, there's only so many ways you can say biochem related things.
Which I was just pulling out of my ass.
But they were like self-plagiarism.
Yeah. I think it's kind of stupid. Like, it's my thoughts. It's one thing if I was copying someone else. But like, these are my own thoughts that I'm just like repurposing. I can only have so many thoughts. I'm not AI. I'm
exactly. Yes. So Wednesday was anatomy lab at 10:30. And then biochem lecture. I think biochem lecture was 3 times a week.
Oh, and that was in what building was that in?
Right. Smith.
Yeah, the vet, like in the vet area next to Lily.
Okay, I was not taking the sports nutrition. Well, actually, I might have been. I just might not have it here.
I started it freshman year, which I think you did too.
Yeah, but this is sophomore. I know I might have taken a break during my first year of being an RA.
Oh,
because I was like, I'm gonna die, and I was correct.
Yeah.
But the schedule's the same essentially after that. Thursday is anatomy lecture, and then whatever nutrition 3:15 is. The last day is just biochem lab. Okay. I feel like anatomy and biochem were the 2 things sucking our soul.
I feel like we have more classes than that, but I guess anatomy and biochem are so intense that.
And the labs with anatomy, I feel like take up a lot of credits.
Yeah. This would not be a good podcast, but I want to just go through with you and talk about all of these classes together.
Yes.
And just like revisit
Can we talk about the trauma of Purdue dietetics? Just so we can make
if you guys want to hear it, let us know. But I feel like that would not be a very fun episode.
No.
Okay, so yeah, biochem is obviously, like we said, the one that
Wait, okay, side note, sorry. I just realized my calendar has converted into Central Time because I was looking at something and I said staff meeting at 9 p.m. And I'm like, there's no way we had a staff meeting. That had to be 8. So everything's pushed up. So like my earliest class was 9:30. It sounds a little bit better. And I was going till 5:20 then, not 6:20 for lab. That literally makes me want to like rip my hair out.
That's right. I think the only class we ever had that went to 6:20 was 3:45, sports nutrition.
Yeah, so that wasn't too bad.
And that was like not even every week.
No.
Okay, but yes. Anyway, biochem is what we're talking about today.
Yes. So, and this biochem lab and lecture we both retook.
Yes. Yeah, because at Purdue and probably most places, I'm guessing you can like just fail the lecture or just fail the lab or pass if you're a lucky person who's smart enough to do that. But for us, we failed both.
Yeah. I will make a disclaimer. I did not fail the lab. I got a C. So technically that's
wait, you didn't fail lab and you retook it?
It was an ego thing.
Oh,
this is my moment of honesty.
Let's unpack that.
Only the department head knows this and my TA. I don't think I've ever told you this, but I was a little bit ashamed, but it's been many years and we can look back and see that college Emily did not handle her mental health well / any of her responsibilities. And I was furious because I was doing like decent in biochem lab. Don't ask me how. I didn't know what was happening, but like, I was like, yeah, pipetting, like calculations. But that really big report at the end of the semester that was like 75 points?
Yes.
I was putting it off for so long. And I thought it was like a first draft. So I was like, oh, they'll just look at it. I submitted one of our mutual friends who was a grade above us, their report as my first draft.
You did tell me this. I remember this. Yes.
And I got like called into the department head's office and given the speech about plagiarism. And I was like, well, I thought it was like a first draft. So it was like, give me your thoughts. And then the next thing will be the final. No.
Yeah.
No. So I got a 0 out of 75.
I remember this.
It literally knocked me from a B to a C.
Oh.
And I only took the class. I didn't have to. It was one credit. But I was like, I can do better than this.
Well, they also drill into our brains that you need like the best GPA ever if you're ever going to get into a dietetic internship.
I don't know.
And so, of course,
that would probably make sense. I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to become a dietitian because I copied what yeah. But even after retaking it, and I like the first time around, I like memorized all the exam answers.
Oh my God, the exams were so hard. They weren't multiple choice. I mean, they had some, but it was like fill in the blank.
But they didn't make sense.
No.
The picture.
I'm sweating right now. I'm like not feeling well. This class like gave me so much trauma. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm. Purdue should be paying for our therapy, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm convinced we're all still affected by
I'm literally hot right now. Like, it was so bad. I think the point of today's episode is just for us to let you guys know that even your idols like me and Emily, we have failures, even though you guys definitely knew that by now if you're a longtime listener, as we unpack our mental health in every episode. But I think that's what we want to talk about today, was just because I want to let you guys know that it's okay to mess up once in a while. Actually, we didn't even mess up. We just had a hard time.
I will note the plagiarism was probably a mess.
Yes.
So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, rather turn in your own work, even if it's like the worst thing in the world. Maybe you'll get a 3 out of 75. Yeah. It's better than 0 out of 75.
Yeah. Okay. What would you tell freshman Emily who has to go into biochem next, or I guess like fall semester, sophomore Emily? What would your words of advice be for her going into biochem?
I think I would tell her to bother the TAs more to like figure out what the heck is happening. The thing is, the lecture traumatized me more than the lab. I will
Really?
somehow
Why?
it because this is going to sound like really a big cop out, but I do not learn well under like bad teachers.
Didn't we have, wasn't the professor on
Our-
maternity leave or something?
Yes. And
I
the
remember
head
that.
TA taught, I don't think we're ever going to encounter her again, but like she was not a good teacher.
Yeah.
Like nothing made sense. Like I think by halfway through the semester, the summer course was almost completely full because so many of us we're like, wow, I'm gonna fail this course.
Yeah.
And the reason I say she's a bad teacher, not just because I failed, but when I retook it, because you retook it with the professor as well. I don't know, did you do it the summer after?
I did the
next one?
online summer, like that following summer, I believe. And with the
Okay.
professor teaching it, it wasn't easy, but I think I got like a B.
Yeah, everything made so much more sense.
Yeah.
When she was teaching it, I was like, wow, if we could have had this first time around, imagine how much money we could have saved and time and stress. But it was just like nothing made sense. And like, I think also like, I've talked about this a little bit, but like I like prioritize being an RA over my schoolwork a lot, which going back, that'd probably be like one of the number one things I would tell myself not to do, because like, I know we'd always preach like, you can't take care of others if you're not taking care of yourself. And I was not. I was like, Emily, sure, you're doing all this extra work for your programs and maybe it'll get appreciated, but like if you fail out of college, what was the point of being RA? It was to fund your college. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
So I'd honestly say those are the two big things, like harass the TAs. So they like, or like, and if you don't like the TA, maybe like figure out someone really smart in the class that is willing to help you.
Always
That's
make
something
friends.
I'll know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always make friends with the smart person, the one who isn't holier than thou and will not talk to anyone because they know they're smart.
Because we definitely knew some smart people, but they were not helpful.
That's Purdue for you. Purdue has a reputation. I used to work with a bunch of people who went to IU, which is just a very different vibe than Purdue. Like,
oh yeah,
very different vibe. And my friends who were in dietetics at IU know Purdue people who have not shared answers with them. Whereas at like IU, it's like a normal thing. Like everyone's just on the same page, everyone's cool. But like Purdue, everyone's like, we are all here to be better than each other. And if I know that I'm smart and good at a class, I will not be sharing my information with you.
Yeah. And I will look down at you if you ask questions.
Yeah.
It's like, for what? Why? Like,
yeah.
So definitely befriend the friendly, smart people.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the science classes.
Oh yeah.
Because there's pre-med people in there. There's ones who like really get it. So get to know them.
Yes. I was about to say, like, should we go through like what makes it hard? But I don't even think I could tell you what we learned.
I don't know. I'm telling you.
I know glycolysis in there.
But like we learned that so many times in so many different classes. I don't even count that as like, that's when I learned it. Like we learned about like gluconeogenesis and how like all the nutrients are metabolized so many times.
There's a lot about like amino acids.
We did do a lot of
amino acids, but like,
and like enzymes.
Yes.
If I had to hear the word enzyme one more time, I was gonna like jump off the building of Croc.
For a second, it took me a moment to remember which one that was.
Which one is that? I just said it, but I have no idea which one that is.
Oh, I was gonna say that's a pretty high building.
I was hoping it was. Is that the econ building?
No, it's the business one I was like a career one
Yeah. Yeah.
on the corner near Wiley and the correct Windsor.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Third and whatever one runs Martin Jitsky. Oh God. I haven't had to know these in a long time.
It's crazy that we lived there for 4 years.
That is a crazy concept.
Like, that was our life. College is kind of weird if you think about it. Like, you're 18 and you just like go off on your own.
And you have to get yourself to class and feed yourself.
And if you're like us, spending a lot of money to be doing this thing with a career you don't even know if you want because you're 18 years old. I am LinkedIn friends with my biochem lab TA. He was very nice. His name is Zach. Shout out to Zach. But unfortunately, he did not help me enough to help me pass.
I think we had different TAs.
We did. You took it with Sophie and Phoebe. I did not. I had no friends in my class. It was all
Sophie and Phoebe were good at biochem lab.
Why am I not surprised?
Like, yeah, I was like, surprised. How do you know what's going on? I
know. I feel like we were in the minority of dietetic students who failed. Right? Like, are there any others you can think of that had to take it again?
I mean, I took lab again over the summer in person because I was being a summer RA, so I was already there.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize our lab was so small. Maybe that's why I did better because there was a better TA to student ratio.
Yeah.
We need more TAs. We need more good TAs as well. You said something then. Oh, I think you took it during the school year again. I remember you'd have to like go off to lab.
And it was like till 5 p.m. or whatever. Yeah, I think you're right. I did the lecture in the summer online. Remember that? Because I was doing, I could like visualize, I was watching the lectures in the co-rec, like employee break room, because I was working at the co-rec that summer.
Ugh. Yes. Should we tell, I think one of the best parts to come out of this was when during like the final exam.
Oh, that was the lecture final exam. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was in this big lecture room. And at this point, like, I think Hannah and I know we
knew. I had like we're not C minus at that point. I was like, I'm not going to get a high enough grade on this to bring me above a C.
Yeah. We're not passing this class. And I remember they started passing it out and we both like read the first question, looked at each other and just started laughing because we're like, there's no way
this is the end.
And it was a very stress relieving experience, honestly, when you know, like, hey, this isn't my final try. I'm going to do this again. So kind of doing the exam was like, whatever. It was like,
I was just like, we're just going to throwing stuff on that Scantron. Like,
yeah.
C.
I know. I was like, maybe this makes sense. I don't know.
I don't know what I got on that one. The story I always tell is my Orgo exam that I got a 4 out of 100 and I somehow passed Orgo. Orgo also did me so dirty. I don't know what happened in Orgo either. That was so
I enjoyed Orgo.
That's so weird.
But that's because I like chemistry.
Yeah. I do not. I also hated chemistry, but chemistry, it was like I had some background from like high school that I knew a little bit about what I was doing. Orgo and biochem were so just like brand new information all at once. It was impossible for me to like grasp it all. But yeah, that exam, I can picture it. It was in Lilly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which also Lilly has just the worst vibes of the entire campus.
I hate Lilly so much.
I hope we have some Purdues listening to this that are like, preach, Lilly's the worst.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other parts of this story. Like we got like what we were doing, why it was challenging. I mean, like I said, it was bad teaching and like nothing made sense.
Nothing made
why
any
do you think
sense.
It was challenging? Okay.
I don't know. I just like wanted to learn about nutrition and we just kept learning about stupid stuff, like how to pipette a little bit of nitric oxide or something. I don't even know. Maybe that's not really a thing you can do. I think it's probably a gas, but still, see, I didn't learn anything. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's just so frustrating because we don't use, like, I think it's so important to understand science to be a dietitian. Don't get me wrong. Like, we have to understand it. But like, I don't use any of that information now.
I think like a common theme with Purdue is they teach you like so much more in depth
Yes.
than which is
Fine. It's good. But
it's
like,
probably helped us, but like when you're doing that to a poor little child, I guess we were adults, but like I felt like we were children.
I still feel like I'm a child.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know how we survived. I could not do college again.
No.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I did that.
No.
And like while working the whole time, that's the other thing. I think maybe speaking for
I think
myself only, I could have done better if I wasn't working multiple jobs.
I was gonna say I think a lot of our classmates slash people we knew were not working as much.
They got to
Like
just
maybe like a part-time job.
Yeah.
Imagine how much more time we'd have.
Every single evening. I know you probably too. Like I was working
Yeah.
all summer. Not most weekends, but weekends I was traveling to go see Ross or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So like when's the time to study is just like between classes. And even then I would like do personal training sometimes, go to the co-rec for an hour or two and then go back to class.
My two pieces of feedback for the academic world: make education more accessible, will reduce your costs because college has just been skyrocketing. Because then we won't have to worry about it as much. That'd be great. Nice. I like hear about like how much like my grandparents paid, and I'm like, wow. It's fine. We're fine. And then I would also call for better teachers. And I'm not saying teachers are bad, because I know I'm talking like in the collegiate setting. I feel like a lot of professors, especially at Purdue, since they were a research-based university, a lot of them cared a lot more about their research than teaching. And like the students aren't there to learn about their research at our old department head.
I was literally about to say her name. Like we learned about freaking calcium so much.
I was gonna say blueberries. I don't care about blueberries that much. Like I don't need to hear about your like research studies every single week about blueberries.
Teach me about life cycle nutrition. I don't want to hear about calcium and blueberries and your failed study that you did one summer.
Yeah.
Didn't talk about that, did ya?
No. We'll just air out all of her dirty laundry on here. No. I think those are my two biggest things. Like honestly, if like college is more affordable and we didn't have to work as much, we'd have more time to actually focus on learning. And then I felt like if the support was a little bit better, or like the like professors and TAs actually wanted to help you. And that's not to say like we had some really great TAs at Purdue.
Yeah.
But like, especially for those classes, I will note for Orgo, our professor did not want to help us.
Oh,
that
PDR.
was, yeah,
Shout
that was
in a negative way.
But yeah, I feel like there just needs to be like, I know it's research based or whatever. They pride themselves on that, but I like how I'm also wearing a Purdue shirt today. I'm on theme. Purdue alumni. I made it through. But
that's what I want to say. Like what I want to say is I don't want to come off as ungrateful because it was a privilege to get to go to college. I got to go to Purdue, which was a really great school. I became a dietitian, which is what I went there for. So I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to do all that. I met Emily, lots of other great friends too. But damn, it was so hard.
It was so, I think we're still recovering.
Literally, yeah.
From everything.
Which is kind of sad. But yes, again, very grateful.
Wait, quick question.
We're also exhausted. Yes.
Did you get an email from Purdue asking you to fill out a survey?
When? Like recently?
Like within like the past month or so? You might get it next year because I think they might put you as 2020.
Yeah, that's when I graduated technically.
Okay. You might get it next year. They asked for like feedback about their program. And I like went off it.
Is it anonymous?
I don't know. I don't think so. I was like, I don't care. What
are they gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah. Take away my diploma. Denounce me as an alumni. I definitely gave my feedback mostly about was like sometimes the curriculum is like unnecessarily hard. I don't need to know the exact like calorie per cc that a baby needs when they're in the specific state. That's something I would learn in clinicals.
Yes. Yes. Okay. My other feedback would be for dietetics specifically, give us 3 years of the classes we need, a little less specific. And then we have 2 years as part of the program, like nursing, where you're like doing clinicals.
That'd be so nice. Why can't we do that?
It makes so much more sense instead of like having the whole dietetic internship thing where it's like apply and like everyone gets a different experience. Like you just keep learning information, but you're doing it hands-on. And so you're actually retaining it instead of just sitting in a lecture hall 3 times a week learning about amino acids.
But then I would bring up their new requirement of the masters. And I feel like that would just completely throw off.
Well, get rid of that because that's so dumb.
I agree.
Get rid of
it a
that
4-year pro.
Or give us 100K base. Like those are my terms.
Yes. These are requirements. And we'll accept nothing less.
Even though it's too late for us.
Unless there was some like nationwide thing that was made where suddenly all of our bases were made 100K. And then if you were above, let's say like the base is like 45K right now. And then for however much you're above that, proportionally, I get added on above the 100K.
Oh, I like the way you think.
This is my proposition.
Those are Emily's terms. And I co-sign those terms.
Yeah. I don't know who needs to get on it. Is it the Commission of Dietetics registration?
They're a little busy advocating for diversity right now.
Yeah. So is the Academy.
Yeah.
No, the Academy's not.
The Academy says they are.
I was going to say CDR is taking my money right now for my...
oh, that reminds me. I have to pay for my thing.
I have to pay for mine too. I keep putting it off.
Me too.
Take my $75 or what? I used to pay for licensure. I guess other professions have to pay for that or whatever. Why do we have to do that? Can't we just pay like a measly fee of $5?
Like I've paid my dues, both physically and mentally and monetarily. My dues are paid. Well, any last thoughts on us failing a class?
I was just gonna say my biggest thing is like, if you ever, not even just in school, we'll say like in anything, if you feel like you're like not doing well, it's like, okay, you're going to be okay.
That's what I want to say too. Yeah. Like,
it's like,
chill out. This is speaking to myself. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's just life. So, like, I'm going to be dead in 100 years. I mean, before that for sure. But 100 years from now,
I'll be going for
120s, baby.
Oh my God.
Which the point is, I'll be even longer dead at that point. And like, no one's going to know. This podcast will obviously still be around and you guys will be listening to it. But other than that, my memory and it's all going to be gone.
When we look back on life, it's not going to be like my lasting memory. I hope my last memory
it might be about biochem. Let's be honest.
I will make sure that if there's any type of like mind manipulation technology at that point, I want that zapped from my memory. I just want to remember the time when we retook it and it was like, oh yeah, this is much better. I want that. Honestly, I could forget some of the anatomy. I feel like
that was an okay class. I learned the lab. Remember when I pricked your finger?
Yeah.
We have photo evidence of that. We could put it on the YouTube version of this.
Yes. But I don't know. Well, okay. But if we could zap, I was thinking of like zapping a time frame. That's why I'd have to sacrifice anatomy. But if I could zap just that biochem.
That's what I'm saying.
And first time biochem lab, I'd do that.
I would
and
too.
Then I could die peacefully.
At least in that aspect. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 80 years, but
It's true. Something else might traumatize us.
that should be a bonus question we do is what memories would we zap? Well, good segue. We're going to get into today's bonus question. So make sure you subscribe to the Beet Deets bonus segment here, our conversation today, which is all about our middle school uniform, like what our go-to outfits were when we were little 13-year-olds. I'm very excited to talk about this. I don't know what you were like in middle school. I mean, I have some ideas based on what you told me, but I'm very excited.
It'll be good. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube so you get a notification when all those new videos or season 7 starts, and then also go subscribe on Spotify, follow on Apple Podcasts, follow our Instagram and TikTok. Cool. But we'll catch you next time.
All right, guys. See you in season 7. Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the Up-Beet Dietitians with your hosts, Emily Krause and Hannah Thompson.
We appreciate you all so much for continuing to support us. In order to support us and sustain the success of this podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating and review.
If you'd like to provide us feedback for future episodes and guest stars, follow us on Instagram at the Up-Beet Dietitians.
Lastly, you can show us support by providing a monthly donation using the link at the end of our bio.
Once again, thank you so much for listening today, and stay tuned next Wednesday for a new episode. Until then, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.